Good morning to everyone out there. This is the Power of Healing with Utabi Ngowekethelo. So today I'm just going to talk about some things that we go through were given birth to by us. So some things that you go through, you gave birth to them. So meaning you brought them to life. And I think I speak about this a lot of times, but today I'm just going to make it different. And then we're going to talk about, so it's basically self-made demons, okay? And then from there, then I'm just going to touch kancane on a spiritual contract. What is a spiritual contract? Or what is my spiritual contract? So before I get into the things that we bring to life, or the things that we give birth to, I want to talk about this, guys. There are more precious things in life besides money. There are more precious things in life besides money. The spiritual world the spiritual world or the spiritual realm, most of the time, tests you on three things. I'm going to make a video about that. There's three things that they test you on most of the time. And you being a spiritual person, or spiritual gifted person, or spiritually called person, you fail in day one most of the time. And now you get that it's actually now a routine. That okay, she will progress up until this point. Then once you test her with that thing, she goes back 10 steps up, or she goes 10 steps back. So you see yourself progressing 1-2 months, and then it tests the lento, and then you take 10 steps backwards. So you go deeper into challenges more than where you were before. And this is because the spiritual realm always tests you your weak point yako, always. And this weak point is part of the three things. I'm going to make a video about that. So between now and the end of March, I will make more videos about spiritual tests, spiritual attacks, spiritual warfare, generational curses. Yeah. So I just want to talk about the tests that we go through and the challenges, or the things that we see as challenges to us. So for today, it's just those self-made demons, and that we gave birth to Tina. All right. So as I said, there's more important things. There's more precious things in life besides money. And if you are going to make money rule you and not you rule money, then you are going to be stuck in 25, or you're going to have to, because you make that distinction. You make the distinction that what is your common denominator, what makes you break. Do you understand? You make that distinction by yourself. Also, you are the one who chooses the side in which you want to be in. You are the one who's going to choose where you want to be in. Because there is no bending things. No, I'll just bend a bit of lightness to darkness because I want to get a benefit in danger, or I want to get this. It's either you follow the dark side or you follow the light side. And we need to learn not to justify things. We do wrong things and then we try to justify them, knowing very well when you've got abantu abadala, you've got amathonga, you are spiritually gifted or spiritually called, and then you try to bend certain things and you think you can justify them to your spirit guides or the people who are active in your life, or the spirits that are active in your life, you can't justify them to them. Wrong is wrong sometimes. Okay? However, me as being Utabi, I'm not God, so probably won't judge you. Because yes, I'm not supposed to judge you. I'm not supposed to play God. However, I need to tell you with the and say what you did was wrong. Because sometimes we do things with a space of ignorance that is going to destroy us in future, or destroy our path or our journey in future. You do something today because of ignorance, and then later on you find out Uti Minayas was spiritually gifted. Now you have to start dealing with the thing that you did 16, 15 years ago or 20 years ago. They're wrong, because when you're going to start your journey, you're going to have to fix the wrong that you did then. Okay? So that's why you need to be careful using those things in life in general. So as I said, rule money, don't make money rule you, because then you're going to have a problem. Be in control. No, don't let money be in control. Be in control of your money. So as I did make you decide. You decide for yourself, what is the common denominator for me? What is it that for me now? Do you understand? This is the end. This is who I am, or this is where I call it quits. You decide for yourself. Now, when we talk about self-made demons, I want to get into, and I always speak about this. If you've noticed in most of the videos, I always speak about this. The power of the tongue. What creates, or what do we mean when we say self-made demons? Demons that you give birth to yourself. Demons that you bring to life when by yourself. Because some things that are happening in your life, you brought them into life. You gave them that power. Alright? So we're going to talk about now, I'm not going to be long on this video. We're going to talk about the power of the tongue. Make a plus. Believe. Believe what we believe in. Believe, the power of the tongue, and transfer of energy. Those three things. Now, those three things determine if into zosebenza kuwe. So let's start with the power of the tongue. If you I want to make an example. If you constantly say to a child, useless, 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 eventually, or when remember when we reprimand our children, we say a lot of things, or when we say mean things to people, né? So if you constantly going to say this child, an example now, if you're constantly going to say to this child, you are useless, you are useless, you are useless, you are useless, eventually that thing, that weight, useless, is going to get into their head, and they are going to start and feed that thing. Okay, Mina, it is known that I'm going to be useless, might as well be useless. So now there's transfer of energy in believing in what has been said. So the energy is transferred from what now is believed, transferred to the belief. Which, okay, so meaning there's signs, I've got those symptoms of being useless, or the signs of being useless. So basically, you understand? So that's the belief and the transfer of energy. So if you say to yourself, and this is why I spoke about affirmations the other day. That means I'm always cursed. That means I'm cursed, I'm cursed, I'm cursed, I'm cursed. Eventually, you're going to believe you are cursed. And eventually, you're going to transfer energy into that belief. Because when you repeat it, it's very important to understand what transfer of energy is, guys. So that belief makes it alive. it brings that thing to birth. So eventually everything just goes wrong, because you have given it that energy, and now the energy that's vibrating in your life is that negative energy of kuti vele mina. You understand? Vele mina, I've got ama flaws in my body structure. This I lingani na this my one leg does not is shorter than my left leg is shorter than my right leg. Believing that gives transfer of energy, and eventually you're going to see those differences. Eventually then you see the differences. The right is longer than the left, or the left is longer than the right. That's transfer of energy. So whatever that you believe, whatever that you say brings something to life, because it will go with belief, and it will go with transfer of energy. All right? So when we say to people, uyogeza, I'm not going to dwell much into this, because I believe I'm going to make videos about them. Masithi kumuntu uyogeza, what is it that esigezayo? Yini le esigezayo? What is it that we are actually cleansing? Now, we are cleansing this spirit that has been brought to life. Okay? We are cleansing this spirit that is overshadowing your spiritual being, higher being, that has been brought to life. That is what we are cleansing. When we say siyogeza, we are the power, that transfer of energy, or that energy that is now vibrating in your life, that is what we are gazing. Okay? So when we say now we are cleansing so and so who is late through you, we are cleansing certain things that were done, the certain spirits that were awakened by this person within themselves. So there's a lot of spirits, guys. There's a lot of spirits that people awaken like in their lives. There's a lot. You must understand, guys. Most of the things actually become either positive or negative spirits. They are given birth to becoming a spirit ezohlala nawe, ezoba umoya ohlale uhleli nawe. I spoke about the spirit of mourning. I spoke about the spirit, the shadows, which are the spirit of deities. I spoke about the spirit of annoyance. So you can see with yonke into ihambi be spirit, because it's been done to a certain level. That is why everything has a limit. If something is overdone, then it becomes a danger, or it becomes harmful to you. All right? So when we say we are cleansing, we are cleansing a certain spirit, a certain energy. You understand? And that has been brought to life now. Okay? Either from you, or from a past, or from an ancestral spirit, or but when we're cleansing, that's actually derailing your life from progressing, because there's the spirit hovering around you. It's wrong. Okay? Now, when we speak about generational curses, guys, are not necessarily about muti. Generational curses are not necessarily about muti. Generational curses sometimes are done within the family. Generational curses is the power of the tongue, the belief, and the transfer of energy. So basically, it's not really. So I'm going to explain generational curses in a more in-depth manner, or in a more in-depth level, when I do a video specifically about generational curses. So they're not necessarily about muti. We must understand that. They are not necessarily about muti. There's a lot of things that create a generational curse. Witchcraft, guys, does not exist okay, sorry. Witchcraft does exist, guys. Sorry. This is short. Witchcraft does exist, but up to a certain level. Because even with that, when somebody is going to bewitch you, they speak words. So the power of the tongue, they speak words, they believe in what they're doing, and then they transfer that energy to what they're doing. Now what you do on the receiving end is that when you now believe in so many times that Mina, I'm bewitched by so and so, you believe in that so many times, it gets into that it transfers into energy, which is going to now come together with the energy that has been sent by that other person, and then it forms that spirit guwe of witchcraft. And now, because now you will undergo that space of being bewitched, because when that person does that thing, so it's a transfer of energy, it's the tongue, it's how they feel. So basically there's emotions into it, and there's belief that what I'm doing is going to work. And then when at the receiving end, you receive it the same way, by believing good and transferring the same. Now you are transferring the receiving energy. You're transferring the energy of believing this thing vele is going to succeed. So now it law una this belief that yes, what I'm doing is going to succeed. When I would say yes, vele I receive, it's going to succeed. Now it comes together, then it is alive. So we bring it to life most of the time. There are ways in which you can deal with things. Okay? There are ways in which you can deal with things. And that is where the spiritual contract comes. Now, in witchcraft also is also, or witchcraft is also laziness and being dependent on others. That is the deepest witchcraft that you can experience. Laziness and depending on other people for your survival, for your life, for your progress. That in itself is witchcraft to yourself. Because umuntu nomuntu has been given certain powers in their lives. So if you go, or if when you are lazy to stand up and do things for yourself, ufuna ukwenzelwa, ufuna ukupay value indlela, then you are going to feel that witchcraft, because you think you need somebody else to do something so that wena uzo succeed, and it doesn't work like that. That's laziness. It's the same thing as being healed and being helped. If you're going to want to play victim, if you want to play victim in some of the things, I mean, ayazi nje impilo yami iyabheda, anguthola uncedo. Ubani ofanele asukuma athole akufunela uncedo, because fanele uzincede wena. Wosukumayo, you have to stand up and seek for help. And within seeking for help, sometimes you have to be aware, or you have to know that you are going to have to give something out to receive that help. A person is meant to fall and stand up, fall and stand up. But if you fall and you keep to that level in which you fell, you have a problem. You're not going to stand up. If you now give emotion and feeling to the level, because if you fail today, you stand up tomorrow. That's why we've got different days in a week. That's why we've got a morning and a night and morning. So if you're going to depend on other people, and not want to meet them halfway, when you want everything to be, when you want to give 10% and people must give you 90, that's not how it works. Okay? Because we need to tell each other the truth, guys. So giving up in itself is a spirit. Giving up is a spirit in itself. Because what happens now, and I'm going to touch on spiritual tests of Lendo, of true self. So I'm going to talk about spiritual test of true self. Now what happens is that, and I'll make a video again on this one I did mention, what happens is that the spiritual realm will test you, will say, okay, you've been crying for 3 months that you want help, but Ishman, things are hard. Okay, let's make this month easy. Totally 350. I need to there's this 350 relief fund. I'm just making an example, guys, and I don't mean to offend anyone. Totally 350. Now, what happens is that is a test, because once you get that, then you'll be like, yo, you are seeking for help for a lifetime, but when this light came through for you, you are more now focused on the physical things, or you are focused on the minor things. Now you're no longer thinking about that thing as over usizo for the lifetime. You're just thinking about something short. That's what we call short-term goals. Now you are focused on the short term instead of the long term. That is what the spirit world will do to you. You will get a breakthrough. That's to show you that when you don't know where you are. You don't really know what you need. You don't really know what you need. So we need to be careful of these things, guys. We need to be careful on which space we are. Or tell the truth to ourselves. Sometimes a bit of introspection and a bit of honesty to yourself or to oneself is very important. Because we will continue to feel like abantu basenza lokhu, umamncane, umamkhulu, umakhelwane, ubani. And in total essence, it's actually you who are bringing all these demons into your life. You are giving birth to these demons. Now, when we speak about the spiritual contract, this is what I believe now. This is my space and what I believe. Spiritual contract for me is that if the book of life was written and under my name, under Utabi, the book of life said, Utabi has 1, 2, 3, 4 blessings, then it's in black and white. It's a contract between me and my creator, me and my ancestors. That is a contract. So now, if that contract is binding, because if that was written for me, then it has to come to me. I have to see it. I have fanege and I experience it because it was written for my book of life. So it doesn't matter now how much challenges you've gone through in how many years. Doesn't matter. But if progress, if success, if light, if life is written under your name, believe me, you have to experience it while you still live on this physical earth. If it was written under your name, if under your name you were given to be this successful healer who's going to have Amatwasai million, you should experience that, because it's a contract, a spiritual contract that is binding. If your kids are meant to be doctors and nurses, it has to come to life. That is why we need to know what we pray for. I always say, if Gupaliwe Jehovah, if Gupaliwe would say I'm going to be rich, then I have to be rich, because you wrote that in my book of life. It's part of me. So if Gupaliwe would say your kids are going to be married, you're going to be this person who lives a sufficient life. Now, a sufficient life does not mean you are wealthy, but it means you can do things, you can survive. That is survival level. If it's written that you're going to have a sufficient life, then you're not meant to struggle. So in the Paliwa for Wena, so it must come to life. You must experience it. So that's what we need to affirm, that if this was written for me, if I was meant to be a light, I'm going to be a light, because I have to experience that I had that light. If it's written that at some point I have to be promoted to being manager, then it was written, then it has to pass. Everything has to pass. Just as when, you know what, the problem is that with people, we don't understand how much spirituality contributes to our Christianity as well. If it had to come to pass that Jesus must be crucified, guys, it came to pass because it was written in his life. So now whatever that is written in my life, that is what you have to pray about. If it was written in my life, then it shall pass. Believe and transfer of the power of the tongue, believe and transfer of energy is very important, and it's something that we live with every minute of our lives, but we are not aware. What we say with our mouth, what we believe, and the transfer, the energy that we give into what we believe is much more important. If when you are supposed to undergo self-initiation or initiation and it's meant to be successful so that uzosiza abanye abantu, labo bantu balinde wena, because that is part of the book of life. It's part of you. So that's why I say, guys, we must be careful of what we give birth to. Just as I said with spirits, when we pray, when we call upon spirits, when we channel, when we sparta, you need to be aware that everything in life is actually alive. Everything in life is actually alive. Everything. That's why sikhuluma about umoya and all these elements, because everything is actually alive. And everything we need to respect it that much. Respect. That's why there's this saying, respect in life. Respect in life, because when you respect in life, you're going to learn, and that is the wisest thing you can do. Wisdom. We have been given wisdom to distinguish between this and that, distinguish between good and bad, distinguish between negative and positive, distinguish between darkness and light. We have been given that wisdom. Just as we have been given the wisdom to understand that life is not ours, it's not in our hands, but it is actually granted to by mercy to us. So if something has been granted by mercy, you need to respect it. We need to understand what we say in our lives is prophetic. What we say to our kids is prophetic, because it's going, at the end of the day, a prophecy must be fulfilled. At the end of the day, a prophecy must be fulfilled, and a prophecy must come to pass as well. So that is why I say we need to be careful that we don't give birth to certain spirits, or we don't give birth to challenges in our lives. That we don't give birth to demons that actually fight against our lives as well, and our progress and our success, because we have given birth to them. Thank you so much, and I hope you do subscribe and turn on notification buttons. Love you so much, guys.